Hey, what's going on, guys? For the longest time, these were the only power tools I had, and I had DeWalt batteries because that's what my dad has, so I used an adapter, but I've slowly acquired Makita batteries for my Makita tools. I've gotten various different tools, cordless routers, oscillating tools, saws, and even some Bauer tools, not great. Impacts, Bauer impacts, Hercules 12 volt, some Hercules tools, just because they were on sale or open box and they were a good deal, so I just figured I'd pick the stuff up. But I got a treat for myself. By treat, I mean I used to really have always wanted to get one of these things. It's not really necessarily super useful, but I thought it's kind of like a gag gift for myself. It's one of these tools. It's Makita, not actually, knockoff, 1/2-inch impact with a 1/4-inch hex head, like the Freak, the Bosch Freak. I really am just interested in taking this thing apart and seeing how much quality is actually put into one of these things. I know there's other videos of it on YouTube, but I figured I'd take it apart myself. Now, it actually has a surprisingly good amount of torque. I would almost argue that it's better than the 1/2-inch Bauer impact I have. And you can see the size difference there. I think this is brushless. I'm not 100% sure. We're going to find out. I wouldn't expect it to be brushless, but I've heard these are brushless. Whereas the Bauer one is not. It is brushed, and I thought it was going to be pretty torquey due to its size. Unfortunately, it is terrible, very bad. It almost has enough torque to take off the lug nuts on my vehicles. Now, I might actually think that this could do it, but when you have access to the DeWalt impact, I'm just going to grab the DeWalt impact because it will take the nuts off, and if you want to put them on, it will still take them off going forward. You know, strip the lug nuts straight off, break the nuts. You know, it's great. It's a great tool. Has a lot of torque, a lot of impacts per minute. And another thing I like about this one is it has the hex, and I've wanted to have a second impact, 1/4-inch impact, for whenever I'm working on stuff. Not necessarily needed one, I just wanted one. And since this has it, it's a Makita, got the batteries for it. And the biggest reason I picked this up was normally it's like 60, 70 bucks, which is like, you know, you spend 120 or so, you get 150, you get the DeWalt impact on sale. So, you know, that doesn't really make much sense. But this one I got at like a liquidating store that sells like not pre-owned, but return goods from like Amazon or Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever store they get their inventory from. I saw this sitting on the table, and normally they sell things 40% off of whatever it sells for on Amazon or whatever. So this is normally like 60 bucks. It was 40% off of that. I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. But that day they were having another 25% off. So I only ended up paying like 20 or 30 bucks for this thing. So I figured that's too good of an opportunity to pass up for this fun little experiment that I'm about to do. Stay tuned for the teardown.
First step is to get this cover off. Seems to be completely retained by these right here. Picks, as in some screwdrivers. The question is, do I want to put this back on once I'm done? The answer is probably no. Because I'm also breaking it right now. Do I want to slap the cover on? I don't think so. Nothing to do with plugging in. Noted. Come on! Whoa! Perfect. She'll probably not go back on. I don't care. I can put that little rubbery bit back on, and that's all I need. And the other Makita tools have that weird plasticky thing.
So, I'm going to get a Phillips bit for that.
I think it's part of breeze. Yep, okay, now I'll get the power screwdriver. No, these are really long screws. Here. Just like. No, just but I would still like to have this as a useful tool. Okay, that's all those except for the one. Now just remind me to take that last screw out near the battery holder thing. Those are... I would have expected those to be... Well, I guess they are meteor screws. Quite a bit, actually. Now, does this just come off? Impressive. Grease. I'll set that right there. Does this come off? Greasy. At least there's grease in it. I don't know if that comes off right now. Yeah, I don't think that comes off. Okay, need a precision screwdriver. Precision. Okay, now I should be able to split the case. Another thing I noted, I think I heard about these things, is the trigger is, there's a delay, but there's not actually that much of a delay. The reason there's a delay is because you can stroke the trigger a good like 1/4 inch before it actually starts spinning. So once you get past that little bit, then it doesn't have too bad of a delay. Which, I mean, if you're going to be using it all day, you'd probably rather not have that 1/4 inch play. I don't know where that grease came from. Come on. Come on. No, stay. No, you want to stay in the other half of the case, not this half. No, stay. Come on. No, don't break the things. That's stupid. I'm dead. I want you to stay down there. No. Whoa. Come on. There we go. Attaboy. Oh, oops. I'm removing so much grease. Yeah, look at that. It is brushless. Fancy. Fancy schmancy. That spring's pretty beefy. What kind of switch does it got? Just a no-name Jinyan Wan. What? How does that work? Oh, it sits further back. Yep. I see. That goes down there. That goes in there. Oh, come on, get in there. Come on. Very interesting. Yeah, this thing, it has, on this little bar, it has all these fancy lights, but it has low and high, and then it has this supposed, no autofocus. It says, loose self-stop. Yeah, that does not work. That does nothing. So, yeah. Just figured I'd point that out. Let's see here. It's a potted main board, so you don't get to see any of the fancy electronics. Keeps all the electronics in place. The battery clip is just a real simple plastic injection molded part with 2 blades in it for connecting to the battery, which is reasonable. You don't need it to be too fancy. I think in the proper tools, a lot of times what they do is they have this main board integrated into the part with the knives here, just so it less parts. Of course, something breaks. Like if you were to break one of these off, this part like this is cheaper to buy with just the blades than it is to buy with the blades and the board all connected together. But when you have a tool that's this cheap, buy a new one. Preferably the DeWalt. Or if you want the feature of having the hex head inside of the 1/2 inch, then you might want to consider buying a Freak. Probably better. I don't know. Interesting. Is there like a... What is this? Is that part of the shaft or... Planetary gear set. Uh-huh. Interesting. Go back in there, please. Thank you very much. Okay, let's put that back in there. I should probably put more grease on this since I removed like half of it. Or not. I don't really care. It's not like it's going to make it last that much longer. I am interested, however, to see if the anvil and what is it? The big part's the anvil. Is that the hammer? Is that what it's called? I don't know the terminology exactly. But let's get a small file. Small file. This one looks like it's really dull. Well, it's cleaning off my file. Well, it seems like it's fairly hard. So that's good. Alright, well, I guess I should put it back together now. Before I can't figure out how to get it back together. It's not like it's too complicated. I hear a mouse in my walls. Oh gosh. That goes right here. Separate. Huh. Cool. It's a nifty little feature. I was interested if I could, like... Now, the delay, that little bit of free play before it actually engages the motor, I was going to see if I could eliminate that, but I don't think it's really going to be possible to do that. So, I won't mess around with it. Of course, this doesn't spin nearly as fast as this, so you're not going to get that as fast as... I don't know why I took that out of there. Oh well, I wanted to take the battery off. Well, I didn't need to do that. One second. Guess what I figured out? It works! Eventually. Cool. I thought that was just a function that just has a light that turns on because you can turn it off. Maybe. There we go. Turn it on. Wow! Nice. None of my other tools do that. Yeah, that was a little rundown of the Makita clone. I know there's other videos of people doing stuff with this, but I don't actually know. I think it's this is so sensitive that it physically, when it's under the load of taking a nut off, I don't think it actually automatically stops, because as you can see, when there's nothing, there's no bit in it, it stops a lot faster. You put a bit in it, takes even longer to stop. Here, I'll go get a socket. If I put the socket in it, my theory is that it's going to take even longer to stop. It's not too bad, actually. But yeah, I think spinning a nut, it might, if it's a very loose fitting nut, there's not a lot of, it might actually be alright, but it definitely wouldn't hurt to have a feature that you could tweak the sensitivity of that stopping feature. That's nice to have, The thing about this, which I also find is nice, is if I don't need a bunch of torque, just a small impact. Before, I would have one of those hex to half-inch or 3/8 adapters for this thing, which you lose a lot of torque. You don't have a lot of torque. But with this, I would argue and say it definitely has more torque than this thing does, and has the same features as this, and then more with a hex. And the only downside with this one being there's no lock for this to be in there. It's just friction. So when you're using it, this won't come out. That will. But, I'm fine with that. It's going to be used mostly for the half-inch hex. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video of me tearing this thing down. I think I'm going to go drive some lag bolts or something in with this. Maybe I'll record that if I can find something good. Maybe I'll just get a nut and a hex and just see how torqued she'll get. But yeah, we'll see what happens next. Alright, so I think we're going to have a little bit of a showdown here with the impacts. First up, I'm going to have this tighten it as much as it can, and then put it in the bower and see if we can take it out. Yeah, that's as tight as you're going to get. Of course, all of these have hog rings because they're the cheapest options available. It's cheaper to have a hog ring than anything else. So, well, let's see if I can tighten this. Well, this is a 3 amp hour, the bower. This has a 5 amp, and this is a 4 amp. So it's not directly a fair comparison. The 5 amp hour for the bower is currently on the charger. So that's unfortunate, but I know it's going to perform the worst. Well, that took them off. Let's see if it can put them on. Okay. Now let's see if the Makita can take it off. The Fake Makita. Maybe it doesn't have as much torque. And this one won't have any issues at all, other than putting the darn thing on. Yeah. This is in the 3rd power mode too. Yeah, she's torqued. Let's see if she can take it off. I think half the thing with this is it doesn't spin nearly as fast as the other two. I just don't think it spins as fast, I'll turn the no, it just doesn't have the power. It's just not quite as obviously good as the DeWalt. What do you expect? Alright, here's the bower. I doubt this is going to be able to take it off either. No way. Oh, let's take her off. Ah. Come on. No. No issue at all. There ain't really a comparison to this thing. It's a behemoth of an impact. And like I said, I pretty much put this in the exact same category as I put this Bauer. It spins a little lower, so you have less impacts per second. And this might get torqued a little bit faster because of that speed. But I know Hercules has an impact that's probably a very comparable size to this one. And I bet you that Hercules, because it's a brushless, it probably is just about identical to this one. And I know the Hercules is better than this. And another note, the hog ring holds the worst on this than any of the other ones. It does hold on. Honestly, I would say it's probably nicer to have it hold on worse than better, because it's a pain in the butt to take it off of the DeWalt. And sometimes also the Bauer. Actually, the Bauer might be a little bit more sloppy. I don't know, but that's just something I noted. Again, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys found this somewhat entertaining, or gave you a little bit of knowledge about these tools. A little showdown amongst the three. Obviously, nothing's going to compare to this DeWalt one, because it is obviously the best one. It is the big boy. See you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.